With this technique, you work with 3 pieces of fabric to make a unit. A base and 2 folded pieces are placed over this base to make the unit. Each unit builds one side of the frame. Now you're going to learn one of the most versatile ways to make a cathedral window project. With only 3 pieces, you can build different window shapes and new arrangement and all the variations that you can imagine. Then you can combine these blocks into larger groups and observe new effects. Templates. Download and print the template. Download the PDF with the templates to your preferred device and then send it to your printer. You will find the link down below in the description. Check the templates section to find all the info. In this case, you have 3 pages to print. Make sure you have them loaded into the printer. If you're going to use them directly for cutting and ironing, print them on cardstock. If you're going to make them in template plastic, print them on paper and then prepare them with plastic. Understand the info. Now that you have all the sheets printed, let's look at each one so you have a clear idea of all the information they contain. See the template sections too for more info. On the first one, you have the templates to cut Unit A and Unit C. Since both units are square, you have the same template for the base and the 2 folded pieces. On the second sheet, you will find the templates for Units B and Unit C. You will find the templates for the base of the 2 units and also for the W's, the folded pieces of each unit. Pay attention, although the units look the same, they are built differently. To avoid confusion, the bases of each unit have indication to correctly place the folded pieces. You also have a scheme that shows you how you could assemble the block with all 4 units, although you can make all the variations you like. On the third sheet, you have the window templates to cut without seam allowance. You will use the numbers of each template when you make the project. Making the templates. You already understand all the information on the sheets, so let's prepare the templates. Check the template sections to learn how to make it. Pieces. Preparing the muslin. Check the cutting techniques section to learn how to prepare the fabric before cutting. Prepare the muslin so that it's straight and without the selvage. Press well. Maybe add a little starch to make it easier to stack several fabric in one stack. Check that the edges are aligned and that you are not missing fabric in any of the layers. Cutting the pieces. Arrange the templates over the stack of fabrics and check that the grain line is aligned with the grain of the fabric. Place the ruler over the template, lining up with the edge of each one. Cut carefully the bases and the folded pieces W1 and W2 for 4 units C, 4 units B, 4 units A, and 4 units D. Remember that in the cutting techniques section you will find more instructions. Also, cut window number 2 5 times. Organize the pieces. Keep all the pieces in order and place the template on top of each stack to know which piece it is. Units. To make this block, we're going to work with 4 units, A, B, C, and D. You've already cut the pieces needed to build 4 of each of these units, so let's get started. Choose one of the units to start. Look at the pile of pieces you have and take the bases of this unit. Take also the W2 and W1 that correspond to this unit. Start pressing the folded pieces following the fold line indicated on the template. Fold at one end and press to the other, being careful not to distort the bias of the fabric. When you have the 2 pieces folded, place them over the base in the way indicated by the template. You set this unit aside and continue to work in the same way with all the remaining units. Always remember to keep the units in order and use the templates to identify them and place them over the stack of pieces. When you finish joining all the parts, prepare the sewing machine to sew the units. Take each unit carefully and place it under the presser foot. Align the border with a 1/4 of an inch mark or follow the sewing line on the template. Start sewing respecting this margin all the way around the units. Join the 3 pieces neatly. Be careful where the folded pieces meet. As you sew the units, keep them in order so you don't get confused. Use the template as labels by placing them on the stack of units that you are finishing. Block. When you have all the units done, start joining them together. Place the unit guided by the skein as if it were a puzzle. When you finish, separate the units into small groups as indicated in the figure. Take Unit B and join it with Unit A. Make the seam lines match up perfectly. Place the unit under the presser foot and sew. Respect the 1/4 of an inch of the seam and also when beginning and ending the stitch. Open the 2 units and press the seam. Trim the seam. Join Unit C and Unit D and repeat the process. Put these 2 mini blocks together, matching the seam. So, nesting the seam carefully. Trim and press. Repeat these steps for the remaining 3 mini blocks. Take 2 of these mini blocks and put them together. Match the seams and sew in the same way. Take care that all the joints are aligned. Trim and press again. Do the same with the other 2 mini blocks. Join and sew these 2 parts. Trim and press carefully. You have finished the block. Application. Window templates. Cutting. Prepare the templates and cut the pieces of fabric. Remember that you don't have the seam allowance for the windows. The edges are wrapped in the frame when applying. Place the fabric inside the window frame and secure it with a pin. Fold the fabric of the frame over the edge of the window fabric. Straighten to form the window frame. You can sew it by machine or by hand. Now, take the applying the window section for a step-by-step instructions. Get ready for the project. To analyze the practice, you can use the table Practice with Muslin that you will find in the resources section. Take note of each aspect, whether or not you achieved your goal, the level of difficulty you experienced, and the time it took to do it. Analyze the process and see if you need more practice. Take note of the points where you have struggled and consider what changes you could make to overcome them. With all the information you have, you can now complete the time management table for your project. Check the resources section for more information. Read the tutorial instructions carefully and identify the different stages. Visualize each task based on your practice with muslin experience. Assign schedule according to your daily routine and start little by little, gradually incorporating these new activities. Choose the duration of each task so that you can perform it and according to your experience in practice. If it takes you an hour to complete the block, for example, don't give the task a half an hour duration. Take into account the stages that you have found difficult in practice. Consider repeating the practice before starting the project. If not, keep this in mind and pay more attention when doing the task. Now, go to the project section and let's get started.